Hey guys, me again. Just wanted to do a bit of an update about what I've been doing March and April 2019 in gaming. So just wanted to go through firstly the games that I've picked up, starting with a game called For the King. It's a turn-based RPG, and it works really well if you're playing locally in co-op. It's probably fine online co-op as well. But as you know, I do play a lot of games locally in co-op, and it's really good because it's almost like a tabletop experience. It's fairly slow paced. There is combat in it, and that is turn based as well. And essentially, you're moving your characters over a number of hexes each turn. The goal, as is so often the case with these games, is to defeat some evil wizard somewhere. And I don't think to this point we've actually managed to do that yet. There are a number of classes that you can play, and then you level up your characters. You get money every time you defeat enemies, every time you complete the little quests that you pick up at quest boards on the various towns. It's a small game. It doesn't take a lot to run, but it's quite nice. Definitely one to check out. That's For the King. So next I want to talk about 2 Point Hospital's latest DLC. That's Pebberley Island. As you know, there's I really do enjoy 2 Point Hospital. I made a video on it back in a long time ago now, when that came out. This is their second DLC. It is again a paid DLC. I think it's about £6 or £7, so not too much. You get 3 hospitals with that, a whole host of new diseases, and what I like most of all about it, is that they're kind of a different style of map. So the second one in particular, as you're building, you get your hospital land to start with, but rather than earning the money to expand your hospital to different buildings, this time you're building in the middle of a jungle, and to expand you have to complete objectives. So, for example, obviously starting off, the very first one is you need to cure 10 patients. Easy enough. But there are, I think, is about 40 different objectives to keep expanding. And it's actually completely outdoors as well, which is very interesting. You're not kind of constricted to building in buildings, really. You're not restricted to that, so you can build sort of wherever you want to. You've just kind of got a helipad in the middle of a forest, and that's nice. That makes a nice change. There are obviously a lot more diseases, and most of them are, they're always entertaining. As I mentioned, there are 3 maps. Now, I've only actually played the first 2 maps. The third map is apparently, it's one where you go up through the levels and increasingly more and more patients come in. So it's kind of like a horde mode for 2 Point Hospital. Now, I haven't played that, and that's because the second map really started frustrating me. The main issue was fire coming down from, I assume, a volcano or something of similar. And basically what was happening was it would just set fires everywhere. Now, that's fine, I don't mind a bit of chaos. Chaos is fun. But the issue I was having was that because of the way fire extinguishers work, you attach them to your walls, a staff member uses them, extinguishes the fire, then the fire extinguishers are gone. Now, in real life, that is actually the case. You can't use a fire extinguisher ordinarily more than once, as far as I'm aware. But in the game, it gets frustrating when you've got, let's say, 20 something fires all around at once that your staff need to put out. Getting your staff there is one thing. The issue is you have to then replace all of the fire extinguishers. And when you're doing that constantly, you know, you're having to place sort of 20 to 30 fire extinguishers every 5 minutes of your gameplay. And that just wasn't very fun. And I pushed through to the end of that level, getting the 3 stars as I always do. But I just couldn't bring myself to start the 3rd level. And that, I mean, I really have to go back because it is a fantastic game. But that part of it really just frustrated me. It's something that I fed back to them through their Discord. They now have an official Discord, which is great and long overdue. But I really hope that they do something to address that, because it does diminish the fun. It's a great game, but I want to be managing patients and doctors and diseases and all that fun stuff, not laying down a wall of 50 extinguishers in a row. Because that's the quickest way of doing it, and that was just disappointing. Overall, though, it is a good DLC. It's a nice accompanying DLC to the first one that they did. Bigfoot was the name of that one. So yeah, they're moving in the right direction, I think. Definitely having more content to do is always great. So next I want to mention the other thing that I picked up was the Humble Strategy Bundle. Now I only picked up the $1 tier for this, and I picked up Niche and a game called Throne of Lies. Now I've heard good things about Throne of Lies, but I haven't got around to playing it. Niche, on the other hand, I don't know, I heard that it was okay. I played for maybe an hour or two. Essentially it's again similar to being a tabletop game, but this one, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have a lot going for it. It's rather slow. I think it's something that you just, it feels a bit like a mobile game, and I don't really like saying that, but it kind of does. The idea is that you're evolving your dog type creature to eventually survive through these different environments, but it's just kind of turn based, and I don't know, it just seems basic. I mean, I don't regret it because it was $1, so you know, and it gave me, well, I was gonna say a couple of hours of entertainment, but I think I just felt like I didn't want to have wasted $1, you know. Okay, so that pretty much is the games that I've bought on PC. So I guess the next thing I should talk about is the other thing that I bought, which was a Nintendo Switch. I mean, that's kind of been something I've been looking at for a long time. It's not really what I've done before. I've been PC gaming for, I've been PC gaming for 20 years. And I've not really had any consoles for the last 10. So this is a new thing for me, especially a handheld console. So this is new. And I'm happy. I mean, they are expensive. They run about the same price as a PS4 or Xbox One, and obviously you get a lot more power out of those two, but you know, aside from the exclusives on PS4, there's not really a whole lot that I can't get on my PC these days. So Nintendo Switch, they do have a lot of Nintendo exclusives. I mean, I had a few issues with the purchase, actually. The first one that I got came and the dock didn't work, which is the bit that you put your Switch in and then it goes through a HDMI cable to your TV, and that wasn't working, so I actually had to send that back, and it was through an online retailer, and so that was a nightmare. It took sort of over a week to get it sent back and get the money back into my account. At the end of that week, I then went out to a brick and mortar store and purchased one there for around about the same price both times. It was a fairly decent price considering what they normally go for. The first time that I ordered it, it actually came with Mario Kart 8. Because I had to send that back, I had to send the game back as well, which is really disappointing because I really want to play Mario Kart 8. But the second one that I got came with Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I do like Pokemon to an extent, I guess. I haven't played a Pokemon game since Gold on the Game Boy Color, so that's going back sort of 20 years now. And yeah, it's fun. You can definitely see that it's quite basic. It does feel like baby's first Pokemon, which is probably good because I haven't played it in such a long time. But yeah, I think overall it's quite a good game. I've put about 20 hours into it, which isn't a whole lot of time in 6 weeks. It's not grabbing me and encouraging me to keep playing, but I am determined to get through it and finish it. And sometimes I'll just sit there for a couple of hours and just play, and it's kind of like escapism, a much nicer, fluffier world, so that's always good when you need those moments. So yeah, doing okay with that one. Got 4 badges, so that's something, I guess. That's like halfway to all the badges. I had been sharing the issues with the Switch that I had with the team from Catastronauts on their Discord. I still speak to those guys, so they were actually kind enough to send me a copy of Catastronauts as well. For the Nintendo Switch. So that actually ended up being the second game that I got, and I am very grateful for them for that. That's very kind of them. So yeah, I played through that for a few rounds. It is obviously very much the same as the PC version, and a great game for local cooperative play. Still no online play, but as I've spoken about in the past, it's all about local co-op for me at the minute, and I think those are some of the more wholesome experiences that you can have with multiplayer gaming. And speaking of multiplayer gaming and the Nintendo Switch, Tetris 99. Now, that's actually a free game as long as you have the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, which I didn't actually have to start with. The only reason that I do have it is because Twitch have been giving it away for free. So if you don't currently have Nintendo Switch Online, or even if you do have it, you can actually add another 12 months of the subscription onto your Nintendo Switch account. So even if you've got it, it will add it to the end, as far as I've been told. So that's really great. If you head on over to Twitch, you should be able to find that on there. And that's if you have Twitch Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime, and then you can now get Nintendo Switch Online as well. So it's a good bundle for what Amazon is offering through Twitch and Nintendo. So Tetris 99 is a game of Tetris where you are playing against 98 other players. You are the 99th other. And essentially it's just a regular game of Tetris, but every time you complete a line, you choose where that line goes, which player that line goes to, then that gets added to the bottom of their grid. So if you do a line of 5 or whatever, then that line of 5 goes over to the other person, and that's obviously going to screw them over quite a bit if they're nearing the top. Obviously if you have a few people targeting one person, that person's going to get swamped and they're going to be out. So yeah, it's a different way of playing Tetris. I never really played all that much Tetris originally, but this is kind of a stressful way of playing it. It's not so much the relaxing game that people might have played originally, but it is very addictive. I mean, I think the lowest I've got is 10th, maybe 9th, I'm not sure. But But yeah, I think I've probably put more time into that one than I have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So, about 20 hours again. I'm not sure whether that's a good or a bad thing for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, or a good or bad thing for the Tetris game, that it's so addictive. But it is fun. And if you do have Nintendo Switch Online, or if you do have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, I would recommend giving it a shot, trying it out. There's no communication with the other players or anything, so don't have to worry about anyone calling you a noob for going out in, the first 5 players, which I did plenty of times. But yeah, it's good, and it's got an addictive soundtrack. You know the one I'm talking about, and yeah, it really gets in your head for a while. I haven't played it for about a week now, so it's just about gone. But now that I'm thinking about it again, it's probably going to start coming back, so I'm going to quickly change the topic to the final game that I bought for the Nintendo Switch. This one was only about 2 weeks ago, and that is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This one, I actually got the gold version of this one because the Nintendo Store were having a sale, so it was 25 quid for the gold version, which gets you the season pass thing with the Donkey Kong and all the rest. Normal price is about £30 anyway for just the base game on its own, so £25 for the gold edition is a pretty good deal. So yeah, that's fun. It's the reason that I wanted it was because it reminded me of XCOM on the PC, which I really enjoy, and it is very similar. It's slow starting, I think, trying to obviously getting new players used to it, but yeah, it does get much harder as you go through, and it's quite fun and happy and and silly, and that's exactly kind of what I wanted from a Nintendo Switch, and that's kind of why I bought it. You've got games like Pokemon and Mario and all of these things that just, it's like being a kid again, and you can just forget about the outside world, which is sometimes what I need to do. Okay, so other PC games that I've played over the past couple of months in March and April, I've just run through them fairly quickly. I did go back a bit to South Park, The Fractured Butthole, and also Assassin's Creed Unity. But honestly, I hadn't played them all that much. I mean, I know that Assassin's Creed Unity has been given a bit of a boost recently from the horrible fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. So that has gotten a lot of publicity recently. Ubisoft were actually giving that game away for free for a while. But yeah, I just haven't been gripped by the game because I don't know, it just doesn't seem to run all that well on my system, and that's really frustrating. And I just haven't found the movement and the combat. I've just I've been at odds with all of them, whereas I never really felt that in any other Assassin's Creed game before. I played a few games with my cousins and friends over the past couple of months. Jackbox Party Pack 3, a couple of games on there, TKO and Quiplash. Always good fun to play in a party, and obviously another one that I'm always bringing up as well, a game called It's Quiz Time by Snapfingerclick. So that's just a quiz game. Generally it's quite UK based, so always fun for playing if you're in the UK. You don't have all the silly irritating questions about American daytime TV that I wouldn't know, so can skip over those. Been playing some Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime, again, local co-op game. Essentially you're all controlling one spaceship and you're trying to get through, I guess it's kind of like an obstacle course, and lots of alien ships shooting at you, and you're there to rescue bunnies, and it's very pink and it's very flashy and sparkly, and it's just quite a good game to play locally and co-op. It was International Women's Day on the 8th of March, and I'd been hankering to get back into Prison Architect. So I decided I would start a women's prison. So I played that for a few hours on the 8th of March. Didn't actually get very far because I realized just how much you need to put into that to really make a workable prison, and how much building up you need to do. And I think the issue with me is that I'll start planning something and then you realize you need to make it much bigger, and you start with a central kitchen and a central canteen and a yard, and you put everything in the middle and you build around it for the cells. But then the issue is when you come to expanding it, then you end up blocking places off. And I reached that point and obviously needed to massively redevelop it, and then I just couldn't be bothered anymore. So that's what I spent my International Women's Day doing, building a lovely prison for women. Yeah, I'm not sure. Moving swiftly on. So I played some Sunset Overdrive. My partner's been really a big fan of that game for a long time, so I finally gave it a go. Played for a few hours, struggled with the controls a little bit because I was using a controller and I'm not very good at aiming with twin analog sticks. But yeah, it's a good game. Again, it's very colourful and flashy, and for some reason I seem to have been gravitating towards those games in the past couple of months. Been playing a lot more FIFA 19. I did stop for about a month, went cold turkey on it a little bit, which often tends to happen when my team in the real world isn't doing too well. I just can't be bothered to play the virtual version. But I've got back into it recently. I was actually watching a streamer on Twitch play it earlier today. And yeah, I just hope that they improve it for the next iteration, although we just all know it's going to be exactly the same, and it's frustrating, and we'll buy it anyway because we're stupid. Mini Metro, that's something that I saw one of my friends playing, beat my high score. He bragged about beating my high score, so obviously I had to play and then beat his high score. So yeah, I was trying to beat him for a couple of hours on that. I managed to beat him on one map, and then I just gave up because I just couldn't keep up with it anymore. And then I've also been playing a couple of games that I've been doing alpha tests for. So under NDA, and I can't talk about them in great detail, but I can say that the Green Planet DLC for Surviving Mars is coming out. I believe it's the middle of May. And the other one that I've been involved with is finally Amazon's New World, their MMO type game. And the alpha for that is I think you can sign up on the New World website. So I would encourage anyone that would like to have a look at that to sign up, and hopefully you will get invited for that. The last PC game to mention is Twitch Sings. That finally got released to the public. Previously it was just for people with a certain amount of followers, affiliates or whatever they call it there. But now it's available for anyone, and it honestly is the best kind of karaoke experience that you can do, even if you're just playing offline. So I haven't actually done the online portion of it yet because frankly terrified that people are going to laugh and call me names, and because I'm a terrible singer. So what I have been doing is just doing some of them, some of the songs, and then the select few that aren't completely terrible, or the ones that are terrible but are quite funny because they're terrible. I've been uploading those onto Twitch every now and again, so if you do want to check those out, check out my Twitch channel. And that probably about covers it for what I've been doing for the past couple of months. Just as I always do at the end of my videos, a few mentions for the free stuff that's going out there. Twitch, as I mentioned before, they do have the Nintendo Switch Online giveaway, so that's a saving of sort of $20, which is it's not a huge amount, but anybody that's got a Nintendo Switch is likely to be paying that anyway, so why not save that? So that's with Twitch Prime. So if you do have that, be sure to check that out. They're also giving away free games on Twitch, as they always do, so always check back for that. Just on the Nintendo Switch Online, it does allow you to play online. It allows you access to Tetris 99, which is that awesome game of Tetris that I was talking about. And it also gives you a catalogue of about 30, and they're adding to this all the time, about 30 NES games. So you've got NES games in there. We're talking Legend of Zelda, you know, the original ones, Donkey Kong and that kind of thing, some of the early Super Marios. I played a bit on some of those. They are very dated, obviously, but if that's what you're into, then by all means check those out. Epic Games Store giving away stuff every couple of weeks, from the 2nd of May to May the 16th. It's World of Goo. Now, I've actually played that quite a lot and finished it, unless they've added more, about 4 years ago. So that's definitely a good one to check out. They've had Transistor on there this week as well. Okay, I think that about covers it. So if you did make it all the way through to the end of this video, honestly, thank you so much. I will try and get more of these out. I do like making them, and I do like talking about games. I just get very anxious, if I'm honest, about kind of putting my face out there and my voice out there and the things that I'm saying, because sometimes I feel like I say the most stupid of things. But thank you so much for making it through to the end of this video. I hope you have a great day. Cheers, guys.